Imagine this: 100,000 feathered soldiers, saving an unbelievable 50,000 Allied lives. In the brutal trenches of World War I, broken communication lines meant certain death for tens of thousands of trapped soldiers. Human runners faced impossible odds: sniper fire, tangled barbed wire, artillery barrages. Delivering critical intelligence across the Western Front was a suicide mission. Radio signals were easily intercepted, and telephone wires were constantly severed, plunging troops into a total information blackout. Forget clumsy radios and severed wires. These feathered special ops agents carried an average of 3 messages per flight, performing miracles under fire. Human messengers had a grim 12% chance of survival, but one unassuming bird possessed a homing instinct superior to any contemporary map or compass. These humble birds, largely forgotten, saved an astonishing 50,000 Allied lives during the 4 years of World War I. Battles like Verdun, lasting over 300 days, consumed human communication lines, making pigeons the only reliable link to command. When wire communications failed, field commanders often lost entire platoons, sometimes over 200 men, in mere minutes. A trained bird could cover 30 miles in 30 minutes, faster than a modern sprinter, and a lot less likely to get shot. Your smartphone's GPS drains battery in hours. These birds had innate navigation systems that lasted for days, fueled by birdseed. To achieve this, the Allied forces deployed an estimated 100,000 carrier pigeons across various fronts. So valuable were these birds that enemy soldiers were explicitly ordered to shoot any pigeon they saw near the front. A pigeon's heart beats over 600 times per minute during flight, sustaining endurance that would exhaust an Olympic marathon runner in minutes. One million critical messages delivered by birds. How did a small bird become the ultimate lifeline, navigating hundreds of miles at incredible speeds when all other technologies failed? Their homing instinct guided them across 1,000 miles, a distance like driving from New York to Chicago without GPS. Across the conflict, these avian couriers collectively delivered over 1 million critical messages, fundamentally shaping the war's outcome. Scientists still debate the exact mechanisms, but magnetic fields, solar patterns, and even infrasound played roles in their astonishing navigation. Pigeons possess 5 different types of cone photoreceptors, enabling vision in the ultraviolet spectrum. Unlike our limited 3, you are literally seeing less of the world. Young pigeons started training with short flights, gradually increasing distances up to 150 miles before battle. Their home was their beacon. These birds routinely flew at an average speed of 60 miles per hour, often against fierce winds. Imagine cycling at that pace. Many could fly for over 12 hours straight without landing, covering vast territories. A long-haul truck driver takes a mandatory break after 8 hours. Mobile lofts, housing 500 to 1,000 birds each, were strategically positioned within 5 miles of the trenches. Proximity was crucial. Dedicated pigeoneers, often with deep rural knowledge, handled these birds, understanding their individual quirks and flight patterns. True animal whisperers. Messages were written on tiny paper slips, rolled tightly into aluminum capsules weighing less than 10 grams. A miniature time capsule. Battlefield hazards were extreme. Nearly 30% of all pigeons released never returned, succumbing to gas, bullets, or starvation. A brutal attrition rate. Pigeons possess an internal clock for sun compass navigation, adjusting for the sun's movement throughout the day. Your internal clock struggles with jet lag. The numbers are staggering. 1 million messages delivered by 100,000 carrier pigeons, directly saving an estimated 50,000 lives. That's a lot of tiny feathered lifelines, isn't it? Imagine a desperate U.S. battalion, 500 men trapped behind enemy lines in 1918, their fate hanging on a pigeon's wings. The French military alone maintained over 30,000 pigeons and 800 mobile lofts, a truly vast avian army operating under constant threat. German forces, fully aware of this feathered advantage, deployed specialized pigeon hunting falcons, turning the skies into a brutal aerial battlefield. Messages weren't just hello, they detailed troop movements, artillery coordinates, and cries for reinforcements. Xiaomi, one such hero, a true feathered warrior, covered 25 miles in just 25 minutes, delivering its vital message despite severe injury. Talk about commitment. During the brutal Battle of Verdun, these birds were often the sole link to command for weeks, a crucial lifeline in hell itself. Xiaomi alone delivered 12 critical messages during its service. The British alone lost 16,000 pigeons to enemy fire, gas, and sheer exhaustion throughout the conflict, a hazardous commute in the skies indeed. In 1917, mobile lofts were positioned as close as 500 meters from the front lines in the Arras sector, bringing crucial intelligence ever closer. For 4 brutal years, from 1914 to 1918, pigeons remained the most reliable communication method on the Western Front, outperforming telephones in the mud and chaos. Beyond simple messages, some pigeons even carried tiny cameras, flying above 500 meters to photograph enemy lines. Maintaining these massive pigeon corps required thousands of dedicated personnel, a logistical feat rivaling any modern supply chain, involving the transport of about 1 metric ton of feed daily. Most don't know that these missions were suicide runs. In some critical sectors, up to 70% of military pigeons never returned. Imagine a feathered soldier, a tiny dynamo of instinct, catapulted into the inferno of World War I. These avian heroes flew into skies thick with chemical gas attacks, their delicate lungs burning, their navigation often scrambled by the cacophony of war. German sharpshooters, recognizing their vital role, made them primary targets. 1 in every 10 pigeons would fall to enemy bullets, a grim statistic for these feathered messengers. For these brave souls, a combat lifespan averaged a mere 40 missions, a stark contrast to human deployments, a rapid burnout measured in miles and desperation. Even if they dodged the unseen threat of chemical gas attacks and the sting of bullets, many pigeons perished from exhaustion, starvation, or entanglement in the cruel embrace of barbed wire defenses that scarred the landscape. Harsh weather, from freezing blizzards to dense fog that swallowed the world whole, caused countless pigeons to become disoriented, lost in the vast, unforgiving unknown, far from the warmth of their lofts. Yet, despite unimaginable stress and trauma, their extraordinary homing instinct, rooted in complex magnetic sense organs, compelled them onward, a biological imperative stronger than fear. Evidence of their incredible resilience emerged from recovered birds. Some found with up to 3 bullet wounds, miraculously still clutched to their legs. And somehow, they still delivered their precious cargo. Researchers today still marvel at the sheer tenacity and navigation prowess these birds displayed under such immense duress. "32 pigeons received the Dickin Medal, the animal equivalent of the Victoria Cross. Did you know that after the war, these incredible birds were not forgotten? Winky, a hero of the North Sea, was among the first recognized for bravery. We often forget the sheer scale of avian contribution. 20,000 surviving military pigeons were carefully repatriated or entered special breeding programs. Imagine the quiet dignity of returning to a world no longer at war, a world they helped save. Memorials now stand in Paris and London, silent tributes to feathered courage. Post-war, nations formalized advanced pigeon training across 8 distinct specialized flight paths. Scientists in the 1950s began using micro-GPS to map pigeon routes, finally understanding their incredible navigation. Their reliability was astounding. Even under intense artillery, their message success rates consistently reached 95%. Their vital service wasn't confined to W1. Carrier pigeons continued duty in W2 and the Korean War. Their impact resonates today. Over 1 in 3 modern racing pigeons likely descend from this heroic W1 stock. This legacy includes numerous books and documentaries, solidifying their place in human memory. Their heroism shattered prior notions of animal intelligence and loyalty, forcing humanity to reconsider their roles. It's hard to imagine your own house pet navigating a war zone, but these pigeons performed with astonishing dedication. The entire wartime pigeon service cost roughly £500,000, a minuscule price for millions of lives saved. What would the world look like without them, reduced to just urban nuisances? It's a question we ponder as we remember their enduring legacy.